Alright everyone, we're going to be taking a model from IdTech3, importing it into Blender, and then importing that into the source engine so that we can use it in the hammer editor. We're going to need a few things for that. We're going to need Noesis, we're going to need Blender, and you can get Blender from its own website or from on Steam. You need the Blender source tools, you need the MD5 import export plugin for Blender, you need NEMS tools, and you need Crowbar. And that is all you need to start. Alright. To start importing the model, this is what you need to do. Firstly, go to the game where you have your model. So in this case, this is Jedi Academy. It is a IdTech3 game, and its content is stored in the base folder and in PK3s. PK3s can be extracted with WinRAR. So our models folder is here. I've extracted it here and I've put it on my desktop. What you want to do is then you want to open up Noesis. You go to where you have your models. Here it is for me. We open up the model that we want, and in this case it is a it's going to be an Imperial Shuttle, right? So what we want to do is we want to export this, and we want to export it with the MD5 mesh. Change this to the location where you want to have this exported to. I'm going to export it to a folder on my desktop. I want to do the same thing with the textures. I export it as a TGA and I put it somewhere on my desktop. And once we do that, we have a folder with our .md5 mesh and our textures. So what we want to do is we then want to open up Blender. Here's one I prepared earlier. I don't know. We won't be doing that. We open up this. We click import. Firstly, if you haven't set those add-ons up, you go here, so edit preferences, and then you click install, and then you install those two add-ons. Okay. When you first install them, they'll be grey, so you'll be like this. This will be grayed out. You click the checkbox, and then you're good to go. You can start using them. Alright, we also need to set up a source engine path. You do this by going to, ooh, does it show up? Oh, here we go. You need to click this button. You then go to where you intend to have this shit set up. Here we go. Okay. Oh, the engine path. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Export path, and change the to a SMD. That'll be supposedly DMX is good for when you have models with complex facial animations, but you know we're not making well, if you know what you know, if you know you know, basically. So so now we're good to go. Click import. Import MD5 mesh. Go to where you have the files, and for me it's here. There we go. We import the mesh. Okay. So we then click on the different parts of the mesh. Let's make this bigger. We click here. We click on the bowl. Firstly, put it into shading. Click use nodes. Click this little button here. Click image texture. Alright. And do that for this one as well. Image texture. And for this one too. And for the wings. So you might be wondering, Red Venice, what about the other ones? Well, you haven't clicked these. Oh, guess what? They're just like subsets of the meshes. These are probably just like, I don't know, they're just subsets of the meshes. So that's another thing why I choose MD5 for this video, because I would import this as an OBJ or an STL, and this would basically be the model, the nose, the wing, that it wouldn't be separate, and the UV coordinates wouldn't transfer over to when I tried to import the textures. It would be fucked up, yeah? So okay, great. So we have this. We click open. So this is Shuttle body. Click open. Go to where you have your your textures, and here we go. Shuttle underscore body out. There we go. This is where the engine should be. That's where the guns should be. Okay, same thing. I'll change the music so it's not so like creepy. And then wing 2. There we go. This is now fully textured and really nearly good to go. Okay, so oh, would you? There we go. Okay. Now, very important that we do this step. Change the name of the texture to something that is easy to use. Alright. Now what we're doing here is so important because see daisy. Okay, good. Once we start importing this into Hammer and go through the process of compiling it, we need to set up paths for the textures, and when we start making the textures that we use in Hammer, like, it's just a lot more convenient if they're just like this. It's consistent. Okay, great. So click on scene collection, click new collection, press Shift A, cube. Okay, you might be wondering, where's the cube? Well, guess what? Oh boy, is it even showing here? Okay, I don't think it's showing because it's so small. Press S and just drag. Oh, okay, it was in the tail. Okay, so that was me dragging the mouse to the right to make it bigger. Press G, press the middle mouse button, and press I dragged it on top of this blue line, and then there we go, left mouse button. Okay. G, so S, and then middle mouse button, and then S. Probably should do G, middle mouse button, drag this to the center, and then hover it over red. You might be wondering, what the fuck am I doing? And this is for our collision model. Is it a good collision model? No. I've seen people where they just take the mesh, the entire mesh, they duplicate it, and then they do some crazy thing to make a much more refined collision model. You can do that. I don't know how to do that, and guess what? This works for me. For when I'm making custom maps, this is good enough because this is just a detailed piece anyways. So we have these two things. Alright, let's rename them something good. Rename this to 123 underscore fizz, and rename this to 123. Okay, we're literally good to go. This is it. This is all you need to do on Blender. You click export, and then you click source engine, and you click scene export. Alright, great. That was saying this cube doesn't have textures on it. It literally doesn't matter. Alright, we got a content. We have 123 and 123 fizz. Great, that's exactly what we need. And now what we're gonna do is we gotta make our textures, and we gotta make some other stuff. Alright, now we will begin to make our textures. So to do so, open up VTF edit, click import, go to where your textures are. So this is for the body. Just click OK. It takes a few seconds. Here we go. And this is the texture for the main shuttle body. So if we turn off the collision model, we see the engines there, and the engines are here. So click save, go here, and rename it text underscore 1, or whatever you've decided to call your model texture. Because if we go on model, we see that's text underscore 1. It has to be called that, or this will not work. It's very important that you follow this convention. We click save, I've already saved it. And then we click create VMT. We go options, and this has to be a vert lit generic. And we turn off translucent and we click create, and we overwrite this. You probably won't have this turned on, auto create VMT. You may, whatever, you're gonna have to create a VMT because you're gonna have to change that option. And you do that for the rest of the textures. So in this case, we do it for texture 2, texture 3, and texture 4. Once that is all done, we must put it in a special folder. Okay, we need to put it in the materials folder, in a models folder, and in the folder for the model. Do you see how this links up with each other? Models imp, models imp. In this case, we would not have generated a model yet, so we're going to put this in another old folder. There'll be nothing here, and this folder won't even exist, but we want to have it to be consecutive between the two things. So we have our textures, and we have the texture files and the VMTs. Now open the VMT. When you save it, don't save it on the desktop. Save it where you want it to be saved. So in Models Imp, because this is how it should look like. The base texture, which is referring to the root directory, which this is the materials is the root directory. Then we have the subdirectory models, and then the subdirectory imp, and then the name of the texture file. And if we go to text 2, same shit. It has to be like that, or it's not gonna work. Okay, so simple. Okay, textures and shit are done. We're pretty much ready to go. But we need to do one more thing, which is called making a.qc file. This tells the model compiler software what to do. Very important that you follow these steps and make sure it's perfect. This will be in the video description. Model name. Subdirectory is the models. Sorry, the root directory is models, and then the subdirectory is imp. So we're going to be calling it imp, and the model name is going to be called Shuttle. See, Shuttle. It doesn't have a capital in there, but I don't think it matters. Scale, leave it a scale. Body refers to the mesh, and if you open up Blender, this is the mesh. No, this is the model, and these are all the individual meshes that make up the model. Materials folder, you see how this is saying models and this doesn't say models? Because the root directory is the materials folder. Here, root directory models imp, root directory models imp. This is a folder. It specifies a folder, and this specifies the model name. This is a file, and this is a folder. Very important that you have these set up properly, or else it will not work. This is the model, and this is the collision model. This is the big white cube. Come on, show yourself. There we go. It's the big white cube. Alright. Concave and automass. I don't know. I jacked this from somewhere else. It might be correct, it might not. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. We are good to go. So, what do we do now? Alright, we open up Crowbar. We go to setup games, set it up, do whatever you want to do. This is for CSGO. This will be blank when you first open this. You have to set up the file paths to be hunky-dory. Alright, so use this as an example, but if yours is in Steam, it would be like c/program files x86, I think, or x80, or not even x86, it would just be c/program files /steam apps, common CSGO, yada yada yada. We go to compile, we go to browse, and we click the QC file. Alright, this file, this name, is set up by the game that you choose here. We keep these as default, we click compile. This is what a healthy compile should look like. If it says error, you have made an error somewhere and you have to fix it. Now, when I was making this video, I had an error where it just wouldn't compile. I had it in a folder called content, and it's early in the video. I have that in content, and it doesn't work. It didn't work. It gave me an error. So I just changed the folder and it worked. I don't know why. Just this. We go to open viewer. Also here, it's being called imp in the folder imp shuttle. And the model files are here and the textures are here. It uses 4 textures. Like we set up in Blender for it to use 4 textures. Text 1, 2, 3, and 4. We click load model, shuttle, and there it is. If this is black, you have not done a step correctly. If it's black, your textures are not set up properly. This is what I had issues with when I was first trying to figure this out. Your textures have to be like how I showed you, or else it's not gonna work. It's as simple as that, alright? So now we're good. We can open up Hammer, and there is the model that we have done. Now this has already been placed, but if we were to import a model, and you see we have some failed attempts already. So this is an old model, this is a new one, this is empty, and this is one I made earlier. You see it's black because the textures are not set up properly, right? That's why it's black. So we have to correctly choose the right one and it will work fine. And as you can see, well, this is how it was in the in the actual game itself. So the people at Raven Software think may have fucked up here, but yeah, it works. And it will work in game 2. Put a little snippet at the end, but there you go. That's how you take from IdTech3 to Blender to Hammer Editor. Now, this could be the same for insert game engine here to Blender to Hammer Editor, or insert engine here to Blender to whatever you want. Alright? It's up to you to find out whether it works or not, and you can tell us. But for anything IdTech related, it should work, and for anything else, this should really work. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't work. Maybe the UVs might be fucked up, but if you want the raw models, then this process will probably work for anything that Noesis supports. So the reason why I made this video in particular, because the process wasn't very clear. I got a few like examples from this one. So this helped a lot for the Blender to source workflow. This is unrelated. This helped a lot for making the .a.qc file, and I think this helped a little bit for working with the way the models were set up. However, yeah, it's very esoteric. You know, I had to look a long time to figure out how to get this shit to work. But yeah, these videos in particular were very, very helpful. So give them a thumbs up. And if you have any other issues, you might be able to solve them by going there. But this video is made to sort of put all the information in one place. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching to the end. I know it was long. I was thinking of making this very to the point, but you know, this is what has happened, and I found this out and I wanted to share it because someone might be able to benefit from this. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I want you to know that someone in your life loves you and you're cared for, and I want you to go out there and try and do something. It doesn't matter if it's the best, but as long as you do something. So thanks.